Wow. Well, good afternoon here, ladies and gentlemen, from what is now we'll categorize soggy Toma, Wisconsin. My name's Miles Krieger, and this is the countdown to pull time as we are working to what would be 7 o'clock start time for this evening's event. But as Mother Nature has, she held off. We did not get any rain at all for the afternoon session, but shortly after the afternoon session completed, we have been just soaked and very saturated. So not real sure what's going to happen here tonight with session number 3. We're super optimistic that we still might be able to get some pulling in, and the folks at Toma have many times worked miracles on a pulling surface. Cool and new this year is the fact that they have purchased 2 500 long by 60 foot wide tarps that they are covering the track with. And so right now, even though it is raining like cats and dogs, we are with a covered track, which might help. So to my left is Mr. Colin Ross. In this game and in this sport, he does not really need an introduction, but we'll go ahead and introduce him. He is the driver of the McCormick Triple Bypass. That is obviously out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. So thanks for joining me, and congratulations. You were a winner this afternoon.
Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate being on the show and asking me to come on here. Yeah, it's a little wet out there. Hopefully we get to do some pulling tonight, but we'll see.
So obviously, 2024 is now underway, and things have really taken off for you. You've had 2 wins, nice win at Hutch, unfortunately a little rain out there, and then a nice win again here today. And let's talk about all the guys that have been working at Ross Tractor and at Chaos that are helping to get that triple bypass entry down the track.
Yeah, so we had a really good weekend last weekend. We really started off good in the winter. We won the finals at Louisville. That's usually it's a huge deal for me personally, just because I love that pool. I love the history of that pool, and especially going up against the alcohol tractors. Those wins mean a lot more to me, or just because they're hard to get.
Yeah, I understand.
But yeah, we've been working hard. We made a few changes from farm show to now. Seems like they've been working quite well. We're very happy with the performance of the tractor. So, but we've had a lot of people and a lot of help to get that there as well. Everybody back at Ross Tractor Sales, Frank, Sean, Mark, Tim, just everybody there. They always throw in a hand, even if it has nothing to do with the tractor. Just keeping the business going while my dad can't be there, or I. So that's a huge deal. And then everybody at Chaos Fabrication, where I'm employed, Kevin Campbell, he's been a huge help to our program and helping us. He's a very good thinker, think outside the box kind of guy. And that's been a huge deal. So everybody there, we have some of the best. I feel with the group of people that we have helping us, I kind of feel we have an extremely unfair advantage over everybody else, because we have some of the best people in the world doing this for us. So obviously we do quite a bit of work ourselves, my father and I, but we have some really good people that's all in to make that tractor go out there and do what it did today, and that means a lot to us. So
yeah,
very fortunate.
It's one thing to have unique ideas. It's another to be able to take those unique ideas and put them into fruition, to action, and make them become something more than just a unique idea. And I think that's really what, if I had to draw a circle around you and your family and what's been going on at Ross Tractor for the last decade, it's that you guys have continued to push the needle, and continue to roll the marble forward as hard as you can. And then in addition to that, a few years ago you joined Chaos. 4 years ago now you joined Chaos, and similar vision, similar thought process, and obviously even more opportunities for advancement and opportunities for development of new ideas. So that's what we want to talk about here for a little while. Obviously I got to go to Benson, North Carolina with you and watch as I got to announce, and that was a busy weekend for you from the customer's perspective, as well as you had multiple customers that were running your power, and not just a red tractor but a green tractor that you drove.
Yep. Yeah, we've been very, one thing I think that I can say with what we've been able to do with Chaos and the pro stock side of things, we've been very fortunate with the group of people and customers that we have working with us. Philip Parrish came to us in 2020, end of 2020, beginning of 21, right, basically all of 21, and really, put all his coins on us, and rolled the dice, and he had no reason to do that because we didn't prove anything. We were a new kid on the block, and that was huge for a guy like him to come to us and and take a risk on a young 27-year-old kid and Kevin Campbell that was more known for alcohol stuff, spark plug stuff. So and we, from that to where we are now, I'm very proud of the steps we've took. Not only having Phillip Parrish and Rhett Parrish as a customer, but also the Shelton boys. They don't really need an introduction to pulling. They've done it all, and they're very good at what they do. They're very competitive, and they want to win. I don't think there's anyone here on this fairgrounds that wants to win a tractor pull more than I do, but I'd put Grayson and Reese and Stan not far behind me. They want to win, and they have a fiery, competitive spirit. So very fortunate to be working with guys like that, and they've been very quick learners. They've done a great job. Grayson's done a great job. Obviously, Reese only got to drive the tractor a couple times, but made a debut pass on the new tractor at Farm Show and did a wonderful job. So very excited for them. This weekend, we had Chance McGrath here. He's been a new customer. We started his first pass on that tractor was at Benson. So he's certainly done very well. I don't think he's finished outside the top 5 since the first night at Benson. So he's run very well, and obviously the John Deere, we debuted that at Farm Show and had some tough luck with it, but finally at Benson we were able to lay down some good A to B runs, and that was really big for us. So there was a lot of talk on us going to the green side of things, but there's only so many red customers in here, and I love red Pro Stocks, I love red motors, but I love one thing that my father is kind of instilled in me is we love a challenge, and we love to do something different and think outside the box. And that green motor, that has really kind of opened my eye to, let's try to make that work. Let's try to make our own package, and we do. That's everything on that thing is 100% us. Block, head, everything was made in our building. So we're very fortunate for the guys we have to be able to do that stuff. We bring a lot of ideas to them on a piece of paper. Kevin and I will jibble some scratch down on a paper and hand it to them, and this is what we think, and they'll come back to us and just have a beautiful plan to execute it. So that's big. Like I said earlier, we would be nowhere without the people we got with us, and we're very excited and very blessed for the future we have hopefully in front of us.
Well, I don't want to by any means push too hard on you, but let's have an update on what's going on in the shop right now. Obviously there are some more projects that are there, and there's one big project that many of us are aware of that should be coming to fruition soon, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so obviously the elephant in the room would be Von Bauer. He's building a diesel super. He built the chassis, did a great job with that, and we're doing all the sheet metal work. It'll be a John Deere 8R, but be the same sheet metal as the bootlegger and Denny Brown, same look as that. So sheet metal's done with it, and we're just waiting to finish up some turbo plumbing stuff, and that'll be done hopefully on track this summer. But there's still a lot of work to do. But we're very excited to work with him. Him and Adam have basically won everything there is to win. I don't know anything that Adam hasn't won, really. 3 championships in 1 year in 2013. Those guys are just, they're so good at what they do, and very excited to be working with them. And obviously we got Bill Miller there, which, probably a lot of fans don't even know who Bill Miller is, but I know who Bill Miller is, because when I was a kid, the Cruising Mule was just, it was one bad mamma jamma, and we're very excited to, hopefully get him back up to par with these other tractors. And he certainly, put his time in, and he's been through different people along the way, and hopefully we can do him a good service and get him back up front where he belongs. So it's cool for me because when I was little, I grew up watching my dad's VHS tapes at Louisville. Louisville and your dad there, that is what I practice every morning, and on the carpet in my bedroom, is that. And being able to do this now is, no pun intended to Brandon Hunt, but I'm literally living my dream right now. So
yeah, no, that's good. That's absolutely perfect, because I think that's what you're supposed to do. We all want to find, a niche. We all want to find the things that make us tick, and obviously. I'm blessed because I get to be a part of your life as a friend, and I get to experience it. I've witnessed a lot of what has happened over the course of the last couple of years, and the transitions that you've been able to make professionally as well. But it's a different world when you're not working in the oil field, and you're actually spending your entire day putting your ideas into action. And like as I said, there are some proud moments. Obviously, you couldn't have probably had a better Friday night in your life. You might trump that Friday night at the Farm Machinery Show of 2022 in your life with a child or a wedding or something along those lines. But there's not going to be much that's ever going to equal El Nino winning on Friday night, and then you following right back up, and you winning as well. So that 2 hours. If you could have bottled those 2 hours, my goodness, what a great time.
Yeah, it was just a lot of hard work, that came to fruition finally, and it was just one of them deals that we're probably never going to plan on that happening again, because it probably never will. But certainly cool. We had a chance to do it this year. I had a chance in the pull off to win it, and obviously Rhett won Friday night again, but I dropped the ball there. But we made up for it Saturday night. So
yeah. Well, let's talk as well. I mean, I would like to know, from infancy, the phone call that comes to you to completion. We have a rough idea on El Nino. You have a rough idea on Bootlegger, but how long are these projects taking? And we're not talking about you guys just farming this stuff out. We're talking about from start to finish. You guys are doing a tremendous amount of it turnkey right there in the place.
Yeah. So it just really depends. I guess, if you want to just talk like a complete build like Bootlegger, it's a little different, because there's a lot of guys that build chassis. There's a lot of guys that build chassis and do sheet metal, but there's not anybody that builds a chassis, hangs a sheet metal, gets it painted, does all the the labor of that. Also, machine an engine or an engine block, a cylinder head, dyno it, everything. Like, there's no way in the country and does that. And that takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of due diligence on myself and Kevin's part to plan that out, because there's so many little unforeseen little things that will come up and grab you at the end of a project like that when you're really rushing to get to farm show. So it's usually it comes into a phone call, and then we Kevin and I we always discuss of the plan of attack, how we're going to fit it in. If someone called right now today with Bootlegger or wanted a tractor like Bootlegger, complete turnkey build, you're looking at least a year and a half to do that. It's just, there's so much time. Plus, with all the work we already have already, we're basically booked until, I would say, a solid 10 months right now, every bit of it, with the work we have in front of us. So we certainly don't want to overwork our employees, because there's only so many of us, and we don't want any more employees. Like, we're good with where we're at, because we just have a great group of people, and I don't need, I'm more of a quality over quantity kind of guy, and where everybody we have is just A1. So it's just, there's a lot to it, but certainly it takes a lot of time to build these tractors. That's the thing I don't think the common fan in the stand really understands, is how much time this takes, to do this stuff. So,
well, outside of, obviously, Chaos has really kind of put its name on the map with El Nino, with Shelton's, and with Bootlegger, and you kind of broke the internet a couple different times. But the truth of the matter is you have customers running in the light pro classes and the limited pro classes and diesel truck classes and a lot of other divisions. Not just, you're making components and parts for a lot of people that never get any of the fanfare or any of the story.
Yeah, it's one thing I think that is honestly a negative to us right now, is we're a little bit too spread out, and I think that's something that Kevin and I think we need to reevaluate going forward. Is I think we really need to hone in on a couple classes and just try to be really good at those, and not try to be good at everything. There's some people that can do that, but again, those aren't people that they're part sellers, and that's fine too, because you can make money at that. It's a great way to be, but it's really hard to figure out, to try to do both, to complete builds and sell parts and stuff like that. So you really have to pick a path on what you want to do. And I kind of think we're kind of stuck right now a little bit on exactly where we want to go with that, because we love the complete build thing, like with Jason or El Nino or even the Shelton tractors, but it's a lot nicer sometimes just to sell parts, but so that's something that we kind of have to figure out between us and where we kind of want to take the company and decide on, how we want to handle that. But again, I'm very glad we were able to do El Nino and Bootlegger and have, El Nino wasn't, I can't call that a complete chaos build because it's an Angler chassis and we just did some modification to it, but we, new sheet metal, new engine, but Bootlegger was 110% us. But, it's just, I don't know what, I don't know what the future holds for us, but, I know we have a lot of good customers, and I know there's a lot of fire left in myself to want to go out and be better every time we come to these events and try to get in the winner's circle with not just our tractor, but all of our tractors that we bring here. It's a big deal to us.
Well, folks, if you're just tuning in or you're just catching up to us here right now, I'm sitting with Colin Ross. We are in the full pull broadcast trailer, whereas we would typically be for the countdown to pull time, we would be trackside sitting stage wide and then being ready to go. But unfortunately, Mother Nature has changed our plans just a little bit. We are getting quite a bit of rain right now. We got the afternoon session in complete. Pretty awesome competition. The modified tractor class, the Simon family. Brandon Simon was your winner there. Light super stock, Cody Cheezick. Four-wheel drive, Ike Zering got his first win here. In the light pro class, we had Al Cook. And obviously the gentleman sitting right here to my left in the super stock diesel class was the winner. So on the light super stock side and on the four-wheel drive side, first-time winners right here at Tomah, which was pretty awesome, and getting a chance to kind of witness that and watch Ike, interact with his dad a little bit more as he checked off that one for his bucket list, which is the name of his truck. So scheduled for this evening, we're supposed to have pro stock tractors, super stock diesel 4x4, the semi, the light and modified class, the unlimited class, the super farms, they're all supposed to be coming, and I think we're supposed to run 4-1 limited pros as well, maybe tonight. So we're supposed to have a whole passel of vehicles that we're supposed to run, and right now I would say that's very much in question. I don't know for sure what we're going to have coming our way with this rain delay, but we'll keep you posted, and obviously we'll do our best to keep you informed as to what's coming. But folks, we're sitting with Colin. Obviously, I guess for me, I would tell you that one of the things that has intrigued me the most about yourself, and it really starts with your father as well, is the idea of not settling or having any kind of complacency. A few years ago, you guys were the super stock diesel tractor that really set the gold standard, and then you followed that up by going and challenging some of the alcohol tractors and continued to sort of set the gold standard within this class, and now obviously you're still doing a really, really strong job, but that hasn't settled. You haven't once not taken an off season to use that time to get better and do more. So I guess that's what kind of keeps you driven, what kind of keeps you motivated to do what you're doing.
I don't know. I just think sometimes me and Dad are just really hard-headed, and we just really like to try to keep proving ourselves that we can, be better and make something run as hard as it did today, but also live and can continue to run like that. I've liked it how many times someone's told us, "Why don't you just back it down some? Like, you don't need to run it that hard." And I'm like, we're not going to do that, and that's just not who we are. And I mean, it probably would have been smarter. We probably would have some more wins to our credit if we have done that. But I also contribute having that attitude. We're pretty quick at finding a weak link, in our setup. So that's something that we like to find because we love to address that. I think that's one thing that it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's like it really sucks when your tractor breaks or something didn't go good, but I also look at it as an opportunity to possibly make that tractor better to where this doesn't happen again, and I'm glad it happened now because we can fix it to, be better. So my goal now really, and it always has been, it's just what I've been wanting to do for the last probably 5 years, but I really want to win 2 rings at Bowling Green. That is my goal, and that is 100. If I can do that before I die, I'll die a happy man because I really want to do that. But, it's been tough. We've had a lot of bad luck at Bowling Green. For some reason, we started off really well there early in our career, but man, that place has just been not kind to us, but that's okay. I mean, you look at Dale Earnhardt; he only won the Daytona 500 one time, So I think a lot of people have places like that that's hard to win at, and that's certainly, that's been one of them to try to achieve that goal because you're asking a lot out of your equipment to be able to run 4 times, possibly more. I mean, at least 4. So that's something I have my eye on every year is trying to figure out how we can manage to go in there and be consistent and try to at least, have a shot at trying to win 2 rings. Not saying it's ever going to happen. It's just I think you got to have goals, and that's one goal that I would really love to do and would set. I think what my father and I have been doing and kind of set us apart. That is one thing I don't care. That's never been done. So that's one thing that we're really that I know at least I'm trying to do.
Well, I think both you and your father are very meticulous. But I want to know kind of, you guys get done here this weekend. You've been on the road. Tractor's been out since Hutch. And you guys have been back and forth and trying to travel and do the whole thing. What's it look like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I mean, obviously you've got a little bit of time here. I think you don't have a hook next weekend, right?
No, we're off till Chapel Hill.
Okay, so you've got, it's beautiful. You've got a month's time there. So a little bit different, but let's talk about, are you going to tear that tractor apart? Are the guys at Ross Tractor going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and you're going to strip that thing down because you're getting ready to enter a window when you go to Chapel Hill where it's green light go from there, and we're going to be Chapel Hill, and then we're going to be Fort, and then we're going to be Rockwell, and then we're going to be Napoleon, and then Bowling Green.
I know. Yeah, so we'll tear every piece out of that motor probably just to inspect it and look at it. Just to make sure we're good, just because of what we have coming, and you got a month off, and that's something we won't have until, Bowling Green, I think you have a weekend off and then Sandwich after that, or 2 weeks or something like that, but there's really no break for five pools in a row, so that's tough, especially when none of them's close to home. Chapel Hill's 13 hours, Rockwell's, I guess Fort Recovery's not that far, but pretty much all of them.
All of them are about a day of travel.
Yeah, they're not easy to get to. So, but yeah, we'll take everything apart. We'll inspect it. That's one thing I don't. I guess there's. I don't know. I kind of look at it differently. A lot of people, they like to brag on, I haven't had my motor apart in 30 runs. I'm like, okay, well, good for you, but that's just not me. We really like to take stuff apart. We like to look at it because we like to see if there's something that we can prevent and try, this is, we got something going on here. We need to fix this, and we just, I guess, one thing with running a diesel super, like if you're not working on it, you feel like you should be working on it, and it's just part of it. These things are basically like top fuel dragsters now, and they're hard to keep together, but, that's something we like to do to try to do our maintenance and our due diligence to be as best as we can, to not have issues. Yep. So if we feel like we're taking stuff apart, looking at stuff, we probably done that way more than we've ever needed to do, but it just, I guess for me, when I lay that throttle over, it makes me feel a little bit better that I've done everything I can do to make sure this thing's going to live for the next 12 seconds. So if anything, it gives you peace of mind, and that means a lot for a driver, at least in my opinion.
Where do you stand on 350 feet, 380 feet passes versus 300 feet passes for the win? You and I both grew up with an idea of a 300-foot full pull.
I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't know why we're going 400 feet now. I don't think that's necessary. I went 384 today, and I will say it's a nice ride.
But you backed out of it,
but I backed out of it, too.
You were going to go farther. The flagman threw a red flag for you.
I know. Brandon Simon, he went 400 feet. It's nothing. I think as a community, we don't need to point this at one person. We don't need to look at Vaughn Bauer and be like, why don't you put more weight in the sled? Because he's trying to make the show better, trying to make it quicker. And, I look at what he's doing with sleds is what we're doing with vehicles. He's constantly tuning and tweaking to try to figure out what to do to put on the best show.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people have a negative light on Vaughn. And, if he doesn't hit the sled setting perfect, there's, everyone wants to come after him. It's like, well, sometimes we don't weight our tractor or I don't drive it right. We don't do our stuff perfect, So, I don't know. We were, I remember we were at 310, then we were at 320, and then we were at 330. I don't know why we need to keep. I feel anywhere that 330-foot range is a pretty nice range. It gets enough speed, but anytime you go 300 feet anymore, it just seems like you just never get any speed. But there has been times where. In 2017, just because I don't know why, but I remember this statistic that we had. I won the Bowling Green Ring on Saturday night, and I went 326 feet. And my dad won the Enderley that year and went 378. And my dad's pass was a second shorter than my pass, and he went roughly 50 feet further. So then you look at like that. Well, is that 50 feet really hurting anything? Because it was quicker,
Sure.
it was faster. There wasn't as much of a load. It wasn't as aggressive. Because I think as pullers, when you do have a 300-foot run, it just feels like you literally have a plow behind you that's dug 12 inches in the ground, and it is just there. Versus those really quick passes, it just doesn't feel like it's there. Of course, it shouldn't be because you get one further, but.
I would say I love that about what Vaughn is doing, is he's allowing you guys to get up and run. I mean, we're hearing reports from folks of 37, 38, 39 mile an hour with the load behind them, and my goodness, you never would have heard of that. And I do think there's probably an argument for more resistance in the beginnings, probably more opportunity to break in the middle or the end. Whereas if you get up and running, there's less strain and less stress on the big end of the track, and maybe you just, but horsepower, it doesn't change anything. Raw horsepower is going to win on the big end of the track.
Yeah.
And if you get off and running, that helps a lot. So, I mean, I think there's so much to be said about it. Obviously, you know, and you tear these things apart. You look at them, you examine everything, but you also are doing, a couple second long dyno hits to kind of test things out and see, for longevity purposes. I know that you've found every faulty part thus far that you can find, and we've struggled with different areas and different parts and products that you guys have had, and some of those you've decided to make yourself because you wanted to be able to have no more worry about it. So obviously you're advancing things, folks. If you're just turning on now, you're just kind of joining us. This is Colin Ross. He's the driver of the Triple Bypass McCormick out of the state of Pennsylvania. He didn't really need much of an introduction, but he and I are sitting in the broadcast booth right now for our friends from Full Pull, and this is the countdown to pull time. Right now we don't know what time pull time is. I would say with some certainty that there's a real big question that as to whether or not we'll actually get Session 3 to happen tonight. It is raining and has been steadily raining now for what we'll call 45 minutes. We did get Session 2 in last night. We got Session 1 in, and so hopefully we will continue, as Mother Nature did not look to be promising any opportunities for us to pull here earlier in the week. So let's talk just a little bit before we wrap things up here, and I let you go back and be with your dad and your girlfriend. But let's talk a little bit now as well about, as you look towards 2024, we have big goals, but also outside of pulling, what makes Colin Ross tick? What are some other things you enjoy?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I really like golfing. I think probably because it was kind of a mind game, kind of like pulling. I don't do that near as much as I should anymore, just because of pulling, basically. But I don't know. I just really enjoy. I just really enjoy tractor pulling. I really enjoy, trying to figure out how to make these tractors better. I just, even when I'm burnt out, I'm still thinking about it. I might not be doing anything. I might just be sitting on the couch at home for, but I don't think there's an off switch. You could talk to Callie about it, and she talks about quite often that I need to find something else to do or get my mind off of it, but I just can't. And I contribute a lot of that to the success that we've had because my father and I are very we can't shut it off, and that's something that it is what it is. I think but there's just I don't know. I guess golfing and pretty much just hanging out with my girlfriend. I really enjoy going down to Kentucky and being with her family. They have a pretty large size farming operation. It's always neat to go down there and see how people live. That's from a completely different world than from where I'm at in Pennsylvania. So just pretty much just if I'm not pulling, I'm usually thinking about pulling tractors.
Yep. And then Full Pull Picks launched right here in Tomah, Wisconsin. We really kicked things off this week with what we will categorize as real money gaming. Did you have any wagers? Did you have any picks this week already?
The only pick I have is myself today. But no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'd say
I didn't even figure it out today.
Your return would have been. I think most people probably did pick you, so you wouldn't have had a real high return.
I didn't. But I can't do that. That's bad luck. No, I haven't. I haven't messed with it honestly. We got in late last night. Or not late last night, but decently late, about right when the mini rods were starting, and I haven't. But I think it's, I'm very proud of the people that have, been after it. Chase Richardson, Jason Schultz, everybody that has really been putting a lot of effort into this. I really tip my hat to them because there's been a lot of people, I'm sure, that's, very against it, because I think with tractor pulling, you get a lot of old dudes that's been here for a long time, and by God, this is the way we do it, and that's all there is. And I think we need to turn a new leaf if we want this sport to be here in 20 years and be thriving and be bigger. We definitely need people like Chase Richardson and Jason and everybody in this room here to our left that's really put all their coins in on this. Yep. I think it's a wonderful deal. I never, if you told me a couple of years ago that there would be betting, that's unbelievable, sure. In just such a short amount of time. So I think it's cool. I think it's neat. I can't wait to participate in it down the road. But yeah, I think it's wonderful, and I think I hope tractor pulling is kind of going in the right direction that we need to be going in to compete with NASCAR and HRA and other big motorsport brands. So it ought to be exciting for sure.
So, folks, now's your chance. I mean, obviously, we don't know what the outcome will be for this evening in terms of the weather forecast. We still got 3 sessions right here in Tomah, an opportunity for you to go and place your picks. Mm-hmm. You get to pick 2 for each class, and obviously you can put your wager values on there and choose exactly how you want to structure that. But we love this sport. We collectively buy into that same mentality that Chase has been sharing, which is truck and tractor pulling is the greatest motorsport on earth, and we believe that very much. So, folks, we are right here at the Budweiser Dairyland Nationals. This is right here at the Recreation Park in Tomah, Wisconsin. Folks, this is Colin Ross, and he is one of the superstars. He doesn't really need an introduction, like I said, and obviously one of the easiest interviews you can have is talking to this gentleman as he just kind of takes the ball and runs. So thanks for joining me.
Who are you betting on tonight?
Mother Nature, I think, is who's going to win tonight, unfortunately. But I have no problem in saying I had a wager last night in the mini rod division. I actually set 2 mini rod wagers, and
how'd you do?
I should have put I had second and third, but I had them on separate wagers. Had I had them on one wager, I probably would have got a little bit of money. But I rolled the dice and went with the gentleman who I thought was the local hero, and he did a very good job. He just didn't quite hit the podium. Mm-hmm. So I think it's fun, and while I'm not going to spend a lot of money because I'm too much of a tightwad, I'll continue to have a little bit of fun here and there.
Yeah, I agree.
Try to fund my sheep operation with my wagering and my picks here in the sport game. But folks, we will try to be back with you with some updates as to what things look like here as we get ready to obviously hear from the folks here at Tomah as to whether or not they are going to decide if Mother Nature wins this one or if we push things back just a little bit. The radar has not looked great. But there are a few windows, and usually it's like I said this afternoon, usually at Tomah, if there's a window, they're going to climb through it. So,
oh, my goodness.
I've pulled here until 4:30 in the morning before, and it's possible we'll do that again. So just stay tuned for more updates. We'll try to keep you updated here as to what the plans are in progress, and if we do end up losing session number 3, remember we're back tomorrow for 2 more sessions of pulling as part of the Budweiser Dairyland Nationals right here in Tomah, Wisconsin. Thanks again.